Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Continuing with the Koran Interpreted, a translation by A.J. Arberry. The Ant is the name of the next chapter. And remember that of the 15 prostration verses, we have sort of an alchemical theme of fire, earth, fire, 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 water, water, fire, earth, fire, air, fire. So you have that sort of cycle. So all 15 verses kind of form a thing, starting with the summer solstice. But so the other prostration verses, all the prostration verses that it's recommended to face Mecca, face, the 7 points, nose and forehead, hands, knees, feet, prostrating like that. 7, 206, 13, 15, 16, 50, 17, 100, 19, 58, 22, 18, 22, 77, 25, 60, 27, 26, 32, 15, 38, 24, 41, 38, 53, 62, 84, 21, 96, 19. Sajada wajhiya lalladhi khalaqahu wa sawwarahu wa shaqqa sammahu wa basarahu tabarakallahu ahsanul khaliqin. And this is from Muslim Volume 4, number 201. Prostrating, and my face is towards the who has created it and fashioned it and divides its hearing and its seeing. Blessed is God, in the singular definitive, the best of creators. So that is. Good. So, in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. And it's 3 verses, so 24 through 26. And you have 22 verses in all in these 15 passages. In the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate, Qasin. These are the signs of the Quran and a manifest book, a guidance and good tidings unto the believers who perform the prayer and pay the alms and have sure faith in the hereafter. Those who believe not in the hereafter we have decked out fair to them for their works, and they wander blindly. Those they are whom an evil chastisement awaits, and they will be the greatest losers in the hereafter. And thou receivest Al-Quran from one all-wise, all-knowing. When Moses said to his people, I observe a fire, and I will bring you news of it, or I will bring you a flaming brand, that happily you should warm yourselves. So he was logical. Hey, see if I didn't expect to see that. I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to either use some of it or find something out. They probably know something. So when he came to it, he was called, blessed is he who is in the fire, and he who is about it. Glory be to God, the Lord of all being. Moses, behold, it is I, God, the Almighty, the All-Wise. God's not the fire. God is the presence within and without everything, but not, and between everything, really. But that's what's meant by omnipresence. But God is not the fire. God is not the chair. God is not cast down thy staff. When he saw it quivering like a serpent, he turned about, retreating, and turned not back. Moses, fear not, surely the envoys do not fear in my presence, save him who has done evil. Then after evil is changed into good, all forgiving am I, all compassionate. Thrust thy hand in thy bosom, and it will come forth white. Probably whiter than mine. without evil among 9 signs to Pharaoh and his people. They are an ungodly people, but when our signs came to them visibly, they said, this is a manifest sorcery, and they denied them, though their souls acknowledged them, wrongfully and out of pride. Behold, how was the end of the workers of corruption? And we gave David and Solomon knowledge, and they said, praise belongs to God, who has preferred us over many of his believing servants. And Solomon was David's heir, and he said, men, we have been taught the speech of the birds, and we have been given of everything. Surely that is indeed a manifest bounty. And his host were mustered to Solomon, jinn, men, and birds duly disposed, till when they came on the valley of ants, and ants said, enter your dwelling places, lest Solomon and his host crush you, being unaware. But he smiled, laughing at its words, and he said, my Lord, dispose me, that I may be thankful for thy blessing, wherewith thou hast blessed me and my father and mother, and that I may do righteousness well-pleasing to thee, and do thou admit me by thy mercy amongst thy righteous servants. And he reviewed the birds, and he said, How is it with me that I do not see the hoopoe? Or is he among the absent? Assuredly I will chastise him with a terrible chastisement, or I will slaughter him, or he bring me a clear authority. But he tarried not long, and said, I have comprehended that which thou hast not comprehended, and I have come from Sheba to thee with a sure tiding. I found a woman ruling over them, and she has been given of everything, and she possessed a mighty throne. I found her and her people prostrating to the sun apart from God. Satan has decked out fair their deeds to them, and he has barred them from the way, and therefore they are not guided, so that they prostrate not themselves to God, so that they prostrate not themselves to God, who brings forth what is hidden in the heavens and the earth. And he knows what you conceal and what you publish. God, there is no God but he, the Lord of the mighty throne. Send he, now we will see whether thou hast spoken truly, or whether thou art amongst those that lie. Take this letter of mine, and cast it unto them, then turn back from them, and see what they shall return. She said, O council, see, a letter honorable has been cast to... She said, O council, see, a letter honorable has been cast unto me. It is from Solomon, and it is, in the name of God, the merciful, the compassionate. Rise not up against me, but come in surrender. She said, O council, pronounce to me concerning my affair. I am not used to decide an affair until you bear me witness. They said, we possess force, and we possess great might. And so, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is 114 times in Quran. And there's other things associated with 19 and this mention and whatnot, but it wasn't so much military rule that he was looking for. He was looking for a spiritual surrender. That's the surrender being talked about. The affair rests with thee, so consider what thou wilt command. She said, kings, when they enter a city, disorder and make the mighty ones of its inhabitants abased. Even so they too will do. Now I will send the present and see what the envoys bring back. But when he came to Solomon, he said, what would you succor me with wealth? And what God gave me is better than what he has given you. Nay, but instead you rejoice in your gift. Return thou to them. We shall assuredly come against them with hosts they have not power to resist. Return thou to them, we shall assuredly come against them with hosts they have not power to resist, and we shall expel them from their abbeys and utterly humbled. He said, O council, which one of you will bring me your throne before they come to me and surrender? And Ifrit of the Jinn said, I will bring it to thee before thou risest from thy place. I have strength for it, and I am trusty, said he who possessed knowledge of the book. Said he who possessed knowledge of the book, I will bring it to thee before ever thy glance returns to thee. Then when he saw it settled before him, he said, This is of my Lord's bounty, that he may try me, whether I am thankful or ungrateful. Whoever gives thanks only for his own soul's good, and whoever is ungrateful, my Lord is surely all-sufficient, all-generous. So there's a difference between a devil and a jinn, and the classes of jinn. There may be ones that are all devils, but it doesn't quite work like that. But as far as their ability, they are not allowed to force us to make moral choices or anything like that, and they can't physically harm us, although we can psychosomatically harm ourselves because of certain beliefs in them. And there's people who can even be chained down, and symbols or even words will appear on them, more likely just marks, but I mean their fingernails couldn't do it, and it's been videotaped by different and stigmata. Yeah, a lot of people focusing on being stabbed in the hands. Somebody may manifest it forth with their thoughts physically. Surely all sufficient, all generous. He said, Disguise her throne for her, and we shall behold whether she is guided, or if she is of those that are not guided. So when she came, it was said, Is thy throne like this? She said, It seems the same. And we were given the knowledge before her, and we were in surrender. But that she served apart from God barred her, for she was of the people of the unbelievers. It was said to her, Enter the pavilion. But when she saw it, she supposed it was a spreading water, and she bared her legs. It's believed that, may actually be narrated, but I know it's believed that Aquamarine had filled a thing, and it kind of might be taken as a pool of water. He said it is a pavilion smooth of crystal. She said, My Lord, indeed I have wronged myself, and I surrender with Solomon to God, the Lord of all being. And we sent to Thamud their brother Saleh, Serve you God, and behold, they were two parties that were disputing one with another. He said, O my people, why do you seek to hasten evil before good? Why do you not ask forgiveness of God? Haply so you will find mercy. And they said, We augur ill of thee and of those that are with thee. He said, Your augury is with God. Nay, but you are a people being proved. Now in the city there were 9 persons who did corruption in the land, and put not things right. And they said, Swear you one by the other. They said, Swear you one to another by God, we will attack him and his family by night. Then we will tell his protector, We were not witnesses of the destruction of his family, and assuredly we are truthful men. And they devised a device, and we likewise devised a device, while they were not aware, and behold, that was the end of their device. For we destroyed them and their people altogether. Those are their houses, all fallen down because of the evil they have committed. Have is not part of the translation. Surely, and that is a sign for a people who have knowledge, and we delivered those who believed and were God-fearing. And Lot, when he said to his people, What do you commit indecency with your eyes open? So it wasn't just that they sinned, that they had, they were aware, and openly is generally how it's translated. What do you approach men What do you approach men lustfully instead of women? No, you are a people that are ignorant. And the only answer of his people was that they said, expel the folk of Lot from your city, and they are men that keep themselves clean. So we delivered him and his family, except his wife. We decreed she should be of those that tarried, and we rained on them a rain, and evil indeed is the rain of them that are warned. Say, praise belongs to God, and peace be upon his servants whom he has chosen. What is God better, or that they associate? Remember, being the chosen people isn't something you're born into. It's something that God chooses, but it's because you're being devotees, servants, slaves. What is God better, or that they associate? He who created the heavens and earth. He who created the heavens and earth. He sent down for you out of heaven water, we caused to grow therewith gardens full of loveliness, whose trees you could never grow. Is there a God with God? Nay, but they are people who assign to him equals. He who made the earth a fixed place, and amidst it rivers, and appointed for it firm mountains, and placed a partition between the two seas. Is there a God with God? Nay, but most of them have no knowledge. He who answers the constrained when he calls unto him, and removes the evil, and appoints you to be successors in the earth. Is there a God with God? Little indeed do you remember. He who guides you in the shadows of the land and the sea, and looses the winds, and bearing good tidings before his mercy. Is there a God with God? High exalted be God above that which they associate, who originates creation, then brings it back again, and provides who originates creation, then brings it back again, and provides you out of heaven and earth. Is there a God with God? Say, produce your proof if you speak truly. Say, none knows the unseen in the heavens and earth except God, and they are not aware when they shall be raised. Nay, but their knowledge fails as to the hereafter. Nay, they are in doubt of it. Nay, they are blind to it. The unbelievers say, what, when we are dust and our fathers, shall we indeed be brought forth? We have promised this, and our fathers before. This is not but the fairy tales of the ancients. Say, journey in the land, and behold, how is the end of the sinners. Do not sorrow for them, nor be thou straitened for what they devise. They say, when shall this promise come to pass if you speak the truth? Say, it may be that writing behind you already is some part of that you seek to hasten on. Surely thy Lord is bountiful to men, but most of them are not thankful. Surely thy Lord knows what their hearts conceal and what they publish, and not a thing is there hidden in heaven and earth, but it is in a manifest book. Surely this Koran relates to the children of Israel, most of that concerning which they are at variance. It is a guidance and a mercy unto the believers. Surely thy Lord will decide between them by his judgment, and he is the Almighty, the all-knowing. So put thy trust in God, thou art upon the manifest truth. And last night I was asked, well, what's the difference between the story of Joseph in Koran and in Genesis? And so, there was a detail. It was Joseph was proved innocent, and it was logical. If he was running away, then maybe he was grabbed from behind. If he was facing her, grabbed from the front. And so, that. But there's differences. There's more detail. There's details that aren't found in the Bible that you'll find in the Quran stories. But it's an effectual book. It's meant to have a particular thing, but it does correct mistakes that have snuck into past traditions. Thou shalt not make two Thou shalt not make the dead to hear, neither shalt thou make the deaf to hear the call when they turn about. Retreating, thou shalt not guide the blind out of their error, neither shalt thou make any to hear, save such as believe in our signs, and so surrender. When the word falls on them, we shall bring forth for them out of the earth a beast that shall speak unto them. Mankind had no faith in our signs upon the day when we shall muster out of every nation a troop of those that cried lies to our signs, duly disposed, till when they are come, he shall say, did you cry lies to my signs, not comprehending them in knowledge? Or what have you been doing? And the word shall fall upon them because of the evil they committed. While they speak not, have they not seen how we made the night for them to repose in it, and the day to see? Surely that is a sign for people who are believers. On the day the trumpet is blown, and terrified is whosoever is in the heaven and earth, excepting whom God wills, and everyone shall come to him all utterly abject. And thou shalt see the mountains and that thou supposest to be fixed, passing by like clouds, God's handiwork, who has created everything very well. He is aware of the things you do. Whosoever comes with a good deed, he shall have better than it, and they shall be secure from terror that day. Now, nowadays, they make very precise measurements, and they can figure out this has moved an inch in a year, or an inch in 10 years, or a millimeter in a year. So a lot of that can be fixed out, but, I don't know when before they were able to do that they actually, this mountain's moved a little bit over the years. Unless the mountain collapsed, or, there was a volcanic eruption or something. People just didn't, whosoever comes with a good deed, he shall have better than it, and they shall be secure from terror that day. And whosoever comes with an evil deed, their faces shall be thrust into the fire. Are you recompense but for what you did? An overwhelmance of evil deeds, an overwhelming majority of good deeds. Are you recompense but for what you did? I have only been commanded to serve the Lord of this territory, which he has made sacred. To him belongs everything. And I have been commanded to be of those that surrender and to recite Al-Quran. So whosoever is guided is only guided to his own gain, and whosoever goes astray, say, I am not but a warner, and say, praise belongs to God. He shall show you his signs, and you will recognize them. Thy Lord is not heedless of the things you do. And so, one may notice that the extra time I've spent in this place has made me more stuffy, and I'm trying to maintain my proper voice and stuff, but if you'll excuse that, or if you'll excuse my tiredness over some things that's, there's a video on this list that would explain why I would have had to spend more work around here, or why things, but I hope you've comment, question, like, tell me, I'm willing to discuss issues that appear in the comments, particularly if they're actually associated with what I've said here.